Hello.
Hello.
It's Magnus from over
Hi.
here in Mobile.
I'm sorry?
It's Magnus from over here in Mobile.
How you doing today?
Oh, pretty good. Just got through catching a Argent mermaid on an Argent field for an Eldemir client that they had submitted, so they can get that fixed before it was going up to Laurel tomorrow, and that would have been bad.
Yeah, I'm glad you caught it.
Well, she's got it fixed. I just got an email. They're changing it the field for her, so that's fixed.
Awesome. Well, we are testing a new thing tonight, so it's kind of exciting.
Okay.
Doing this is going to be being broadcasted live on YouTube.
Ah,
That,
cool.
because this can only hold 10 people in the Hangout, so
I understand.
yeah, if anybody else can't join, they can at least watch it.
Oh, about all those admin returns, the reason I was mentioning them and a lot of people, I had one of my clients in Onsteora had one bounced for because they were fluffing they were fooling with it at Kingdom. They did something to the emblazon and didn't say anything, and boing.
Yeah.
Wreath seems to be extremely sensitive about that right now.
I've noticed that because, this is the first time it happened to me, and I've been penning for almost a year and a half.
Hello, Alexander.
Hello.
Hi.
So, just knowing, now I'm making just some more tightening of making sure everything is very clear and very explicit whenever we change anything.
Well, it's happening to a lot of kingdoms, so don't feel singled out.
Okay.
And picked on, because it even happened to West. It's happened 3 times to West Kingdom, so on 3 different letters. So.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to.
I'm going to send an email to Pennon now because I've got to talk to her.
You've got to talk to me?
Yeah.
Well, if you want to talk privately, all I have to do is take off the headphones, and I can't hear anything.
No, dude, it's fine. All I'm going to do is tell her is that I've uploaded the change to the device form, so the blazon should be in the right place now.
Yay!
Hey.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Adelaide. It's Magnus here.
Hey, Magnus.
How did your test go?
My brain was mush afterwards, but got it.
Usually how it
Waiting
goes.
on the grades to be posted now.
So you're just waiting on that.
Yeah.
Cool. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, you had perfect timing with posting the link. I was typing out a message in Facebook.
I was having some trouble because so we're doing this. Master
Differently.
created a Gmail account specifically for Meridia's Heralds.
Okay.
And so I was juggling 2 email accounts because I needed to have it on Meridia's Heralds to do this, but I needed it on my account to send out the email to the list. So I had a little. I got it in before 8 though, so at least there's that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Just in a couple other places.
What am I doing?
We'll have to teach that cat to blazon.
Oh, she's really good with postures.
Just as long as she stays away from the Hirasuni.
Yeah.
Don't want that.
Yeah, they sometimes get to that one. He's down there sitting right now.
Okay, I think I've posted everywhere I want to post it.
Yeah, I've got some. I didn't comment on the letter on this one, but I've got a few things in there, including the one guy who wants to register his own name.
Oh dear.
Well, it's a version of his own name.
Yeah, I don't think we do that. I don't think that if you're. I think if your name. I don't believe that we allow you to basically translate your name into another language, because that doesn't. You have to make a change to it. Taryn has gone through something similar by adding a substantive element.
Yes.
In his
Okay. I always thought it was just like you couldn't register your exact name.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that applied to translation as well.
I'm not sure, but I don't like him. I think you should register a different name anyway, because who wants to be yourself?
Yeah, and that one I kept having issues with because he wants. I've been staring at it all day because it's bugging me so much. He wants 3rd to 4th century Celtic Old Irish Gaelic.
You're talking about Ogham.
Baroque.
You're talking about Ogham, which
Yeah.
Englishers pronounce. You will see some of the Brits pronounce it Ogham, which is not the way it's pronounced, but
yeah,
that's the way it looks.
That's how my brain has said it. So.
The H makes the G almost silent. You basically swallow the G as you're pronouncing it.
Yeah, and the stuff that Welsh names found was late 7th century to 10th century. That's 500 years off from what he wants. There's been a lot of questions that I'm like, more info needed here.
Well, the issue that may give it to him whether we want it or not is the fact that I think Barak is a saint.
Yeah. No, we have Barak. We have Barak in there.
Last name is given.
Gloff.
Well,
Probably.
saints removes any temporality.
Okay, we still have Gloff.
Which one are we on?
We're
Really
just pre-discussing.
I'm going to give it a few more minutes, but I do want to start sooner than later just because your letter. But
we have a lot.
Give it till 10 after to give a few people a few more minutes to trickle in. And it's a Guntram. Hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
Hey, Mr. Guntram.
Good. How are you?
How are you guys doing? Good to see you. Good to be here.
Good.
Oh, and just a note to remind everyone, since this is on YouTube and there may be people watching, just remember that as we're commenting. Huh?
What?
We have to watch who we talk about.
Yeah. I know sometimes we can be a little judgmental on some things, so just to remind
Try to
community
be nice to submitters. The only thing it gets me to be annoying is when we have a know-it-all submitter that comes along in commentary that I know knows absolutely nothing about a foreign language name and starts saying, "Return it. It's not right." That's the only thing that sets me off.
Gotcha.
And I don't. That's because I've worked with the submitters for so long, because I've prepared probably 400 or 500 submissions in my last 18 years as various herald offices. So.
Wow. That is a lot of submissions. And welcome to Raven. I can't remember if I said hi. Welcome to her.
I did.
Hi.
Or as we say in German, willkommen Sie.
Okay, I could do this.
Okay. Give me just a second. I'm gonna go check on something. Ooh, I'm gonna get more tea.
So I did check a box to allow this sort of Q&A thing. And this is for the live broadcast. I'm not sure how people submit a question. If they do it through YouTube or not. Or if they do it through like Hangouts or something. Still working on trying to figure out how to take questions from people who are watching it on YouTube.
We'll learn together.
Yeah.
Yay, it finally took a... Only hit submit on the survey that went out today.
Yeah.
Like 10 times on my phone, and it sat there and went, "You need to answer this question." And I'm like, "There's something there. It has been answered." Click,
I love it when things get
no,
lost in
click,
translation.
no, fine. I just saw it pop up on my Facebook thing. I went, fine, I'll fill it out now.
As my lawyer friends would say, asked and answered. Objection.
Yeah. Well, I did on my little Android. That's an iPhone 6. My phone's a little old, so...
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and officially start this. So welcome to everyone here, and if there's anyone watching, welcome to the Merdier's April internal decision meeting.
Yeah, I deleted our test ones.
Okay, cool. And if there's anyone watching who doesn't know who I am Lady Fedora, and I am the Merdier's Submission Herald. And I need to put a toolbox, a little thingy up, because I'm not using my normal Google Plus account. Alright, well, let's get started. We have a new badge, number 1, Eleanor de Ruin. That's actually supposed to be Eleanor with an A, and that name is registered, so I will make a note of that when I send this up, the letter of intent. But the spelling error is what made Oscar not find the name.
And the submission to be associated with name is not registered.
The Sable Spoon is not registered.
House of the Sable Spoon is not registered.
It is not registered. I didn't see that. So, can't associate it with it.
and they may have some difficulty registering that because of the Sable issue. At least that was some of the stuff has difficulty with Sable issues. I haven't updated that. I know order names have problems with Sable.
Because I actually know the answer to this. The reason they have problems is because in period they didn't use heraldic tinctures in order names. So
households, it may be okay. I've never seen the issue come up.
I beg your pardon?
I said I've never seen the issue come up with a household name before, but
yeah, I know Meridies gets it because Meridies has grandfathered certain tinctures, Argent and Sable particularly, or exclusively.
What about households? Would Sable be a problem with a household?
Yes, it would be because it would not be a Meridian branch. So the Kingdom of Meridies can register Sable.
No, I'm not talking about order names. I'm talking about a private household.
Yeah, I'm saying, but Meridies has got a grandfather. The household name does not. So where Meridies can do it, they cannot.
Okay.
We have somebody new who's coming in as a code, IWV4321. Howdy.
Sounds familiar.
Hello.
Hello.
Who is that?
Your microphone might be muted automatically because of how many viewers there are, so.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
There's someone there.
Who is it?
Hi.
Hi.
What is your name?
James.
James what?
Cook.
Hi.
Hello.
You show up somewhere.
Hmm?
That name shows up somewhere. James Cook.
Yeah, he's got a
pirate.
solution here.
Isn't there a pirate by that name?
Yes.
Okay.
He was eaten by cannibals.
Right.
Fun.
Okay. Well, we just started on the letter, so we're on the first one. And this one, we have the person's name who's registered, but it cannot be associated with the household name because it's not been registered. So,
Can we do it under the person who submitted it for them
Yes.
for their group?
yeah, and then
not
once
have to
they've
do
registered the
forms?
household, they can
Do an administrative.
do an association. Yeah.
So
And,
we're good with the forms we already have then.
Yes.
Okay.
yeah, we'll just have to make a note on the form where they probably wrote down, associated with, and just put a note that says this name is not registered, so it can't be associated. I'll probably email the submitter and let them know that, so that, and also about the potential issues with the Sable, so they can make the appropriate changes or research or whatever they need to do.
It's Carlos's peer, by the way.
Hmm?
What?
That is Carlos's peer.
Oh, okay.
Are you sure this isn't Eleonora de Rouen Linfanima? Because
It
I
is.
don't see an. Oh, it is. That is the.
Yeah.
That is the name.
That's
okay.
her.
Okay. I just want to make sure because
She's a chirurgeon and a nurse.
Fine. Finally.
That's her.
Can everybody
Yeah,
hear
on
me?
the form it has the name correct. It was just typed.
Anyone
Hi,
hear me?
Sandra.
I hear you.
Hello.
Hey.
Okay, good. Hi. I was trying to get on, and I pushed the wrong link, and I could view it, but I could not join it, and I was so frustrated. I finally figured out they've redone the whole thing. So
Yeah. Did you read the post about this going onto YouTube so people could just watch it?
yeah, I saw that, and I pretty much have had so much going on this past 2 weeks that one can
It's
get that
fine.
amount. But anyway, okay, I'm here.
Yay.
We've just simply grown too popular for Google Hangout.
That's
Yeah.
that's true.
It's a good thing.
We're on item 1 for those that have joined.
Yes.
And we have a just a tweet to the Blazon Argent Gaudy just saying a spoon Sable. And then it noted that the gouts were not drawn the right way, and so we got a redraw.
I like the redraw a lot more.
Yeah, and Carlos showed that to the submitter, and she approves. And we will make a note of that in the letter, that the submitter approves that redraw and use that redraw.
Are we monitoring something for anybody who may be just on YouTube who can get back? Do we want to post that that somebody's taking a look at the Facebook page or the email group or something?
Say that again?
One of the things that we discussed when we were trying this is that if you are watching on YouTube, there isn't a way for you to feed us anything that you want to ask about.
No, as far as I can tell, there isn't.
That is correct. There is not.
Comments.
Will not work if you are on YouTube. I mean, we'd have to go and look at the comments on there.
I mean, I can pull up the YouTube, and I mean, I can have it up and look at comments, and just kind of back and forth and keep an eye on them.
Okay.
Somebody posts.
You may want to post one there that simply says that we'll monitor comments on the YouTube channel for questions.
Works.
It'll also tell you how many people are watching. The one that was on there was me.
I was on there before that because I couldn't figure out how to get on here.
I clicked the first link and went, oh, that's not that one.
Exactly what I did. Okay, my name and device and all is gone yet again, but hey.
No, it's not. It's right there.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
The button on your screen.
Okay.
Unless somebody else is pretending to be well.
No, I see it now. I see it now.
You are White Herald Extraordinary, yes?
Yes. Okay. All right, so we're just going to send this on with the reblazing?
No redraw. That's been approved.
Yeah.
It looks good.
And that was a quick color version that I did, so it looks really good, small.
Yeah. Well, the goods are also more standard shape, and they won't have much of a problem with.
Yeah, I think it looks just fine, so we are good. Okay, I just posted something in the comments. Okay. Okay, number 2. And we had started on this a little bit. The submitter, Brock Wolf. He is trying to use an Irish anglicized version, derived of his actual name.
Right.
We found Brock, but we're having trouble with that surname.
Right.
I can actually get to this website now.
Well, I mean, he can combine English, Welsh, and Scandinavian and all of that, but I'm still not seeing Gluff any place that I've looked. So.
Right. So would it be able to combine Barack with Glover?
Well, I don't see any problem with that because Glover is documented up here.
In the MED as well.
Right.
There is a problem. He allows no major changes, so we can't change the language.
Correct. We can't. That's a problem. And what is his mundane name? Is his last name Glover?
Let me look that up real quick.
From what he wrote in the thing,
Glover.
Barry Glover is his mundane name.
Okay.
So the question is also, he could use a surname allowance, or I mean, we could document it. But the question I think that Master Alexander had brought up is it too close to his?
It depends on how you pronounce the given name, whether that's Barack or whether it's
Barrick.
Barrack or something too close to Barry.
Well, the problem is in Gaelic that's going to be Bera or Bada.
Uh-huh.
Bera, most likely. B-E-R-A.
Yeah.
Very likely, yeah.
Is the way that's going to be pronounced in Old Irish.
And just side note, I just tried to get to both of the linked things in the documentation. Nothing works.
Yeah, I couldn't get to anything either.
Yeah, I wasn't able to find them either. That's one of the problems I had when I was checking.
I was checking on my work internet initially, so I just tried here on open internet. Nah.
I looked at the docs, and those look like they're probably, if you send those up, Pelican will probably add them to our trash can list.
Oh.
They
Yeah, I
don't
looked at that too.
Usually, the telltale thing is when you see Celtic names, that a name is Celtic, you pretty much know that the people don't know what they're talking about.
Oh. Yeah, that's pretty much like, what's the other one that's so standard? God, I want to say it's a not Germanic.
Teutonic?
Teutonic, that's the one.
Yes, that's another warning sign.
Mm-hmm.
So I think even if he changed to allow major changes, I think we would to do something like make Glover his last name instead of Bluff.
Mm-hmm.
I think we would still run into the whole. We're worried we're going to run into being too close to his real name.
So here's a question: did he list a consulting herald?
Let's see. I'm going to pull up the
form. Very good question.
Real quick. I have to pull it up because I have not gotten them some Cypher yet.
I know.
Oh, hi, Cypher.
Hi.
Round 2.
Okay, looking him up real quick. Because my computer will let me.
Hold on, I'm scrambling to... Josh Bush.
Oh, I know him.
Do you know who that is?
Yeah, he's Deepdale.
Oh, okay.
Well, if there's an email in there, then I can.
Yeah, it's jbush311@gmail.com.
Yeah, I think that's actually in my contacts.
That way we can work with.
Yeah.
I have a feeling it's salvageable to pass. I think we're going to have to, because even if we
change it, we're going to have Barra Glover, which is way too close to Barry Glover.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
If we don't change it, then we've got the problematical documentation for Bluff.
Right.
Have we tried to look up some other form of Glover?
I don't think we had gotten to that.
I went through any and all Irish sites I could find, looking for a name that would even look or sound like Bluff or Glover or some variation thereof.
It's in Anglo-Saxon. It's in a little poem called Beowulf. It's I was just looking at it now. That's the term actually for glove. It may just be a complete coincidence, but I don't know if maybe that's where they got it and they got it.
Well, can he mix Irish and Anglo-Saxon?
Well, I'm not saying it was used as a by name. I'm just saying that it was there. I've been back at school, so I had a chance to get back into some academic journals, and there was an article here by the Philological Quarterly that I never ever would have stumbled upon, but I was just kind of looking at some outside of regular SCA sources, and I just happened upon that. It's probably a complete rabbit trail, though.
Oh, it came up in.
Yeah, I find it amusing that the word's actually in Beowulf, which is pretty popular in the SCA.
Yeah, there was one of the sources I found that there was another name for glove or glover that was started with an H, and that was a character's name in Beowulf.
Okay.
Killed by someone with the name of G.
Hang on a second. I've got an Anglo-Saxon, a book of Anglo-Saxon names over here. Let me go grab it right quick.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and the article I was looking at, you don't have the site, you won't be able to, I can save the PDF, but I can at least bring up the citation for you. If you want to follow through, but probably don't. But I mean, if they're dead set on this TLOV, but as we already know, it can't be too much because they said no
major changes.
No major change. And that would be a very major change.
Let's see what I can find in Cyril.
The problem you're going to have trying to find this is Gaelic occupational bynames are very rare, even in late period, and by the time you get back into Old Irish, they're basically non-existent outside of the church.
Okay, well, I'm not finding Gloff as Anglo-Saxon in Cyril as any kind of a given name. And even so, if it was an unmarked, if it's a given name, it'd be an unmarked patronymic, and it would have to be, and you can't do it. I don't think in Anglo-Saxon either. I'm not really sure, but you have to have Glossunu or something like that. There's almost no GL names at all that I'm finding.
Yeah, that's why I had to look through so many sources.
Well, I thought I'd take a flyer at this, and check.
Oh, yeah.
Well, GLOF is Old English for glove, and it is basis of a later name, William Le Glover, in the 1200s. So,
but we're still talking Glover.
Yeah, that's Glover. But the Old English word is glove.
And I guess we're questioning whether or not that word was used as a word.
I'm wondering if I mean they had to have made gloves back then. I'm wondering what the Anglo-Saxon form back then of glover would have been.
Oh, I don't want to get into occupational Anglo-Saxon by names.
Now, we could see if we could contact the submitter and contact both submitter and Harold and see if he'll allow changes to see if at Laurel we could find some more documentation.
Right. Well, we could ask somebody at Laurel to try to do it if he would accept the changes.
Right, but also letting him know we may run into with the whole sound alike of his actual name.
Yeah.
That may be an issue.
Because even if it's something like Gloffa or something, you're still talking about being awfully close to Glover.
Right.
Well, the sound alike is something. Sound alike for mundane names is something you're going to have to let Pelican roll on because we can't do that.
So what I'll do is I'll contact him to see if he'll allow major changes and explain, what's going on, and if he wants to, and probably see if we also had a problem with the language that he was requesting, the 3rd to 4th century, because we were also finding things later than that, and his permission to send it up without allowing major changes to see what Laurel can come up with. If they can come up with something, or if he wants to have it returned.
At least he doesn't have a device going along with it that's going to be effective.
Right. Exactly. Okay, so I will try and contact, because I've got about a week before the end of the month, so contact him and the submitting Harold, if we can get him to change the form changes. Okay. Number 3. Dala Direfina. new name and device. Looks like this name actually has 2 given names, which is not allowable. And the second is as a female name and as a matronymic. I believe Frida gave us the matronymic in the comments. I contacted the submitter about this and have not heard back to find out if, just to make sure that the submitter wanted it.
Well, let's see. I'm not seeing what she allows as far as changes.
She doesn't allow. She allows all changes.
Allows all changes.
So, so we can make the change, but I think I'd emailed just to confirm that she was trying to make it mean Dala, daughter of Darfina.
Right, and this she can't have an unmarked matronymic. So.
Right.
Well, she could also be Dala-Darfina.
What?
How?
Frida found it as a prepended by name of the Dales.
Oh, really?
With one L.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that now.
Well,
yeah.
if the dash usually puts the descriptive term before the given name, though.
Well, Dala would be the descriptive, and Darfina would be the name.
Yeah, it would, yeah. So it's a matter of, and I did send actually to the submitter to see what do you want your name to mean. You know how to.
Well, if the name she wants to go by is Dala, then that can be problematic because Darfina would actually be the given name. But I guess she could do whatever she wanted to.
In that case, you ask her if she wants to add daughter, and that fixes it.
Yes.
Right, and I've contacted submitter via email but have not heard back on the.
Yeah.
So, that one. I will try maybe call her or try and get in touch with her to find out what direction she wants to go. But I have a feeling she wanted daughter of. I think.
Well, if she does, that solve everything.
Right. Exactly. So. So we're gonna have to hold on that one, possibly pend it. If she gets back to me.
I guess we should go ahead and discuss the device, though.
Yeah.
Fiora, interjecting for a second. Keep an eye on YouTube comments. Taryn's on there.
Oh, okay.
How do you keep an eye on the YouTube comments?
I guess do I have to hit refresh to do this?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
And he's going to open chat with you as well.
If he can Facebook message me.
Do you want? I can keep an eye on the comments since I'm kind of superfluous here.
Yeah. That would be awesome, actually. I mean, I don't consider you superfluous, but I appreciate you looking at them.
So how do we see the YouTube comments? Do we click the chat over here or something?
You can't. We can't cross them over. You have to go to YouTube and just refresh.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I'll just let somebody else pass the word along instead of having a bunch of us doing it.
Thank you, Chandra. That'll help.
Not a problem.
And I got a message from Taryn. Okay. Okay. So the device, the Illulant position is a step from period practice, but that looks to be the only one for the device, so we should be okay.
Now, do we need to blazon that as Seagent Ululent, or is Seagent the default? I've never seen a wolf Ululent that wasn't Seagent, but
that's my leaning is that the Ululent assumes Seagent because I have not seen it. As a blazing question, I can send it up without the Seagent, and if Ruth wanted to add it, she can.
Well, we could probably add Seagent Ululant, and then if Reef wanted to drop it,
or we could do that.
you know, either way. But and then we would have our answer.
Let's see.
Looks like I'm seeing Agent Uliant.
Sage and Julia is very common.
All over the O&A.
Yeah. Position is what Taryn was saying. Okay.
So it tends to be blazoned as Seagent Ululant.
Okay. So we'll do it as.
Yeah, the first one that results is Dayton Uliant. So.
It is correct as blazoned in the submission. Wolves, Sajon, respective Ululant.
Yep. Okay.
The counter change needs to be on board.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So we don't need to. Then we shouldn't need to change it.
Yeah, I think the blazon is correct.
And okay, so we can use that blazon. Things look good. Do we have a conflict check on it?
I didn't find
anything.
We have 2 who did not, so sounds good to me. I think that's good. Hopefully we can get our name fixed up so we can send both up. Okay. And
Matthias is trying to get on too, but I think he may get bounced to YouTube.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, we are full.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can always bounce to YouTube if need be.
Well, I should probably bounce to YouTube more because I only have limited. I have limited input for these sorts of things. Because I'm a court herald.
Okay, so that
You're
one's
not
gonna.
the court herald, Alex.
Yeah.
Okay. Edward Yarborough.
We have one opening.
Oh.
Let me bounce over to YouTube and I'll watch over there.
Edward
Look at
of
us too, because we've got Taryn. So what?
We're on Edward of Yarborough.
We have one opening.
Oh yeah, this thing is freaky.
It's a little bit strange because it has 2 different kinds of animals respected here.
I think it's slot machine because he's got 3 of them. He'd be losing in Vegas.
Oh, weren't we on the household name first?
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
yes.
yeah, we should start with the household name.
Yeah, we should.
If you scroll down to the post I found about the House Dragon Gate, that should give you enough stuff to register it.
Yes.
Well, the gate is not a problem. The only thing I could find in period was Hundus rather than Hound. If somebody else found Hound to...
Rainey and Wilson, if you notice that they, as a matter of fact, they cited my, Pelican cited my construction in commentary.
Okay.
The dragon is found as a 13th century in by name in Rainey and Wilson, and I have just below Rainey and Wilson, Alice La Hound from 1327 is found as a by name. So.
Okay, then that should work.
Hound with gate. So, yeah.
Which is in the Middle English Dictionary.
Good.
Yes.
That I underlined incorrectly. Sorry. That was a Gulf Force.
So would we have Hound Gate or Hound's plural gate documented for
Well, based on the Dragon Gate ruling, which was like January.
It looks like he's trying to register. Yeah, it looks like he's trying to register Hound singular gate anyway, so that works.
Yes.
That was the closest we could get to Hound's Gate with the S, but we're fine with it.
Okay, good.
Okay, so we like the household name. We're going to use Magnus's documentation and beef up that. Okay, so for the device, or on a pale per pale or in rules between a nocturnal panther and a Talbot combatant sable, a portcullis or.
That's supposed to be natural. Handwriting, Gulf Wars.
Oh, that's right, natural.
And Karen dictating it to me.
Nocturnal. I mean, panthers, I guess, are nocturnal. So.
That's what I was like. I'm looking. I'm like, I'm reading. Okay.
You could have asked.
Yeah.
And I believe we're just on the edge of complexity here with an count of 8. That's what I count.
Well, yeah.
You being quiet on purpose, Taryn?
Secondary, tertiary, motor.
Did Taryn get in?
Well, it's
Yeah,
not. It's not slot machine because
I think he's just coming in.
He might have to unmute his phone.
Yeah.
Mike still.
I
It's
can
not
give
slot
that too
machine.
if we need more space in
It's
here.
not slot machine. It's fine.
From a distance, it is a little hard to distinguish between the two until you start really looking at the detailing.
It is.
I
Because
think
at
that's
first, with the name Houndgate, I assumed both of them were hounds, and then I looked at the blazon and realized no.
Yeah, so I have a feeling that IRF is probably going to take issue with that.
Do we have a unit? Well, it's not a unity of posture thing exactly, but it's.
No, the posture is fine. They're combatant. That's a
Yeah.
fine period posture.
Yeah.
They're just so close to the same shaping that it's going to be tricky. I mean, if you look at it, you can tell it apart, but especially the naming, it's going to be confusion.
It's just a little bit visually confusing as far as the two secondary charges.
I will say that it was a non-herald that finally came up with something that the non-herald peers of the household liked. And the 4 heralds in the group went, okay.
Are we representing 2 different people with the hound and the?
That is Edward of Yarborough and Murin.
Murin, yeah, okay.
That
So
makes
you
sense.
have a dog
They
person and a
wanted
cat.
elements of both devices in
Right.
the household thing, and we're going, slot machine, slot
In a way,
machine.
it's also kind of a can't because, it's Houndgate. You got a hound behind a gate trying to keep a cat out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we can make a note that's saying that that there was concern about distinguishing between the cat and the dog, but
But technically, it's below the it's.
I mean, they're both identifiable. It may be a little difficult, but they are.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the individual, you can tell what each one is. Collectively, it starts to get a little muddled.
And Nocturnal Panther.
It's supposed to be a natural
It's
panther.
supposed to be
Natural? Okay.
It's a natural panther sable.
I don't hear a lot from Taryn on this one. I was hoping I'd hear more.
He's having mic issues, apparently.
Oh, okay.
But he's been sending comments. They've been-
Yeah. He was saying it was right at the complexity limit. Yep, that's. But just at.
Definitely Hanappy.
Yeah.
It's registerable.
I feel comfortable sending it up. We can make a note about, just some of the clarity issues, but I feel comfortable sending it up as is.
Yeah.
We'll fix that. Nocturnal, turn it into natural.
I swear I wrote natural.
And, I'm guaranteeing you probably did, but you're,
Sometimes the handwriting.
T, yeah, what it is that the T is touching the A, and with the little sloop of the, it looks like a C.
Well,
just think
keep
it
in
wasn't
mind my
my
Monday
writing,
name. I'm used to
we
writing
wouldn't
T's
read
weird.
letters at all.
Okay, so those the name and badge, household name and badge, we will send up. Number 5, Foger Legay. This is one of those administrative returns. Got approval from the submitter. Of course, just double checked that.
Tell me this guy likes frogs.
Well, I mean, So, so it should be good to go because I believe it was conflict-free the first time around. Of course, it's a few months later, so we want to double check. But I know Bronwyn didn't find any, and I didn't find any, so I think we're good to go with this one and send this on up again. Thankfully, he was a very understanding client and wasn't mad at me.
Well, that sort of thing happens every once in a while, and it's a learning experience.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Mic check. Anybody hear me?
Yay!
Yay! Woo! Woo!
Good Lord.
Took a while.
All right, it's been an interesting day.
Oh, Jim.
Yes, I will apologize for the fact that the dog and the cat look very similar. That would be my scribblings.
Uh-huh.
But yeah,
You can distinguish them separately. It's just from far away together they get a little.
Yeah, you got two black critters, and we couldn't do anything to distinguish color because otherwise we hit complexity numbers.
And I will say that was Friday of Gulf Wars.
Ooh.
Oh, God.
Yeah. My memory is
Yeah,
my memory
you
of that
were working
Friday was.
on Alienora's. I was working on Houndsgate. Yes.
Wow.
Or Houndgate. Ugh.
And Friday was a 30 submission day, if I remember right.
Something like that.
That's always scary. I
Okay,
miss going to Gulf Wars, but,
Yeah. Tuesday was a 22 submission day.
The good thing was we only had to color copy one.
Yeah.
Color one.
Favors.
Done.
And then Glen Aubin caught on when they were seeing how fast everybody else's was getting done because everyone else has gone down to 1. And Glen Aubin, since their principal Harold was there, says, "Yeah, just go down to 1."
Because Glen Aubin was 2.
Smart people.
All right. We're on to number 6, Gunnar and Haviti.
Yes.
New name and new device. New name. Taken from the Old Norse name.
we took it entirely from the Old Norse name.
Yep.
And it looks good. Name construction looks good for the name. So unless anyone else has any comments, we can go on to the device. Azure, Polar Bear, Counter, Passant, and a Bordure Argent. And we have a reblazon Azure, a Polar Bear, Passant, Sinister, and a Bordure Argent.
Yes, we debated whether to blazon that as Passant to Sinister, Counter Passant, Passant Conturni, there's so many different ways to say it, so he doesn't care.
Okay. But I do agree that we should blazon the polar bear because
I do as well because all the
blazon breeds of dogs.
when you start to look at them.
And there's a picture.
Yeah.
Well, quite honestly,
Polar bear. I mean, it's hard
when
to.
blazoning bears, a polar bear has a pretty distinct shape. It's still a bear is a bear is a bear, but a polar bear has a pretty distinct shape, and this is a polar bear.
It has it has the shoulders sloped and the higher rump, and
Right. Yeah, this is definitely a distinct polar bear. Are we going to have issues with the fact that the rear foot is up? I mean, I don't think we're going to have a problem, but
it's touching the ground. It's just not.
Maybe make a notation just to cover.
Make a notation because Passant is normally 3 feet down, 1 foot up.
I mean, we could argue that it's just tilted to the side a little bit and then still down.
It looks like the picture I found. It took me forever to find that picture.
Okay. The question mark is it current or is it Passant? I mean, that's the argument that I could see somebody making, but I don't see. I think maybe a note at most
Yeah, because it isn't Current is running, right?
No, it's not
super
current.
mean.
It's not current.
It's not.
Passant.
It's really not. But because of the other, because 1 foot being up, I can see people arguing it.
Right.
I would note
I
it
would
just
let them argue it.
Let them argue amongst themselves. That'll keep them from somewhere where they can do some real damage.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Fiora Alexander's saying that there's a question on the Q&A.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop over and because I just got his text.
Okay, he wants to know if you can see it.
Loading. Questions. This is a Q&A section. Can anyone see this? Oh, did he do that through Google Plus?
I don't know.
Does I see it? If that's what he sent, then I see it. I want to know how he submitted because I couldn't figure out how people submitted a question.
If you go into on the YouTube page, it gives you a link to be a member of the audience, and I'm assuming that's how.
Ah, okay.
Yes, where you can watch.
Watch through Google as opposed to watching through
YouTube?
YouTube.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he says Alexander is testing stuff. He's being a computer geek.
he can't help himself.
And that's so new.
Well, at least that's one way that we can. I didn't get a notification, but that's one way that we might be able to get some questions
Well,
in.
and I've also got the Q&A up on my page now, so I've got YouTube covered on all. Yeah.
Awesome. You're awesome. Okay.
I try and be useful.
Okay, so Gunnar is good to go with his name. We're going to put a note about that foot on the device, but other than that, I'm going to send that one out.
He's very excited about this.
Yeah.
It's
Joanna?
technology.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Joanna Fleming, new device. This one had a couple close ones, but it looks like we're clear. Vert, grillage, argent, a domestic cat, sagent, or colored and earringed ghouls.
Yeah, I was very surprised that I didn't find a conflict with gold cat.
The field treatment helps a lot.
Grillage is not a field treatment.
No.
Grillage is a charge. Look it up in Bruce's site, as I checked.
Really?
So then should it be overall a domestic cat?
It may be, have to be.
Vert, grillage, argent, overall a domestic cat.
No, the grillage is defined as all the way from edge to edge by nature. It's basically Freddy it's square Freddy.
Yes.
But I thought it was a field treatment, much like Freddy is. I thought Freddy is a field treatment as well.
Yeah, if it's edge to edge, wouldn't that be defaulted as?
It's a field treatment if it was edge to edge, but
No. While grillage has some characteristics of a field treatment, it acts as a charge.
That's what I told you.
That's I see.
I'm reading the same thing I did last night.
So my question remains: does the cat need to be blazoned as overall if it's overlying
I don't think so. I believe the grillage is going to be treated kind of like a simic, and for the syntax of the blazon.
That makes sense.
The submission that I just got, my registration with the grillage, it's actually Argent Grillage Sable, and then the comma comes after the grillage. So on the blazon, it comes afterwards. But it is treated like it's like a semi.
Okay.
Oh, here's a question now. Since it's a charge, do we have a tincture issue?
No, actually, that's the other thing that it says is that you have to have good contrast with the field.
With the field, and the field is there.
My other question would be the earring. Is that an unbelievable detail?
Yes, it's barely noticeable. To me, it looks like inside of its ear is red until you get closer up. So
We have heard of them being done before. It's a blazonable distinction, but it's not sufficient enough for conflict.
Blazon it to make the submitter happy, and let Wreath remove it if she wants to.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sounds like a plan.
This is actually she's in my group. She's switching over to an Egyptian persona. So
okay.
Hence the cat
Dan out in Kaid is working on it. Because that's his main forte right now is Egyptian, and this has actually gone through like 10 different variations.
Oh God, register it while we can.
Yeah. But she'll be very happy as long as she gets it. So.
Well, I think it's good to send out the conflicts.
At one time, the grillage was ghouls, and it looked like we had a barbecued cat.
Oh,
I will take it in its current form. Thank you.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Okay, number 8, Juliana of Empingham, new name and device. This one, I think there were some comments here about the Empingham. I have to use the restroom, so discuss. I'll be right back. Or can we?
I think the problem was just with the way the documentation was presented, not with the.
Yeah, this is a Gulf Wars casualty.
Yeah.
I remember her being in point, so. I found some information.
It's on Family Search.
It's on Family Search too. Awesome.
Yeah, I found it in a B record.
Awesome.
Although, obviously not 11th century England, but
1259. Okay, that's confusing.
Yeah.
Authenticity for 11th century England.
But
Language England 1259 most important.
Except that that's 13th century.
Yeah.
I think it's just Gulf Wars being confusing.
Being Gulf Wars at this point.
So which one is correct? If she requests authenticity, does she request it for 11th century England or for 1259?
Okay.
Let me see if I can't.
I'm not sure.
Let me see if I can't raise the submitter.
Okay.
Good idea.
well, and I can document it as a late period with the name. So I
No
mean,
problem. Late period.
Do I need to get Iqbal or the Cambridge book out? Are we going to need those?
Is the issue with the authenticity?
Carlos is checking on authenticity request.
Yeah, I'm getting
Because
a hold
it's.
Well, there's no
it's
problem.
resolved.
There's no problem dating Juliana to the 1243, 1275. You know,
Mm-hmm.
to the 1200s, but we're talking 13th century here. And if she's actually most interested in 1259, then getting Juliana bracketed between 1243 and 1275 fits it right in.
Well, I have Cambridge out if we need it.
Look and see what it says. Yeah.
I can get Ekval if we need it as well.
I have Ekval too.
Yeah, look at
right
Cambridge, see
here.
what it says. Because I wasn't able to find that one online. I was able to find
Ekval's right
Mills.
here if we need it.
I can't remember whether I looked up Effingham in Ekwall or not when I was doing.
You
Well, it
looked
looked
it up
like-
in Ekwall.
Okay.
I was looking at the comments, so.
Oh yeah, English place name Equal dates Empingham with a different spelling to 1106-10 and to 1166.
Which is the same spelling that I had out of Mills.
Mm-hmm.
I copied and pasted.
Slightly different from what she registered,
right.
submitted, but not too much.
Right.
One letter.
Yeah.
And I'm also going to triple check with her because she has gone back and forth. When she handed it in at Gulf Wars, it was Juliana Eppingham, and then she said something later on to me in a personal note, and she wrote Juliana of Eppingham.
Well, either
and so
one.
And so I was like, okay, so which is it? And she's like, of. I'm like, okay, but I'm going to triple check with her when if I can get a hold of her.
Well, if she wants the 11th century, it's probably going to get changed by Pelican to Epingham.
Absolutely.
Eppingham, out of the Cambridge. That's if that goes up with authenticity, I can guarantee you that's probably going to get changed. So I don't know if she'll like that or not.
Is there a version in there without the E, the second E?
Oh, I just closed the book.
Not to that.
According to the documentation, they put page 216B.
That does make it that does make it easier. 14. There is a spelling in there. It gets worse.
Yeah. I think
Well,
with the English it's close.
the EMPINGHAM spelling is 1140. The submitted spelling is from 1140, which is 12th century. And I'm afraid if she sticks that 11th century documentation on there, she's going to get the extra E, which she may or may not want. Because, after all, she is requesting the name be changed.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that falls as a minor change, so major changes won't stop that extra E from being added. And she might not like that.
Well, I'm finding the whole request confusing in that she says England 1259 is most important thing.
But yes, authenticity is 11th century. Yeah, that is.
And then the Cambridge Dictionary under documenting Eppingham lists 2010. So yes, this sounds like Gulf War.
Yeah.
It was.
And been there, done that. Know what kind of.
We had one year that got all the way through the artist that was black with red charges on it that looked like barbed wire in sheet. It was it's absolutely strange, and walked over there and said, "What is this?"
And the consulting. Go ahead.
They had sent it to the artist to draw. Somehow it had gotten through.
Well, it's like the first item on here, the Gouts.
Mm-hmm.
That's Gulf Wars.
Those Gouts look fine to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, quill pens typically, they're going to be, what you've got with this is it's stripped, the feathers are stripped mostly up from the vein. You've got the point there. It's an odd quill pen, but it's obvious, but it's definitely, what else could it be? Is the question at that point.
It is obviously a pen.
It almost looks, at first glance, it almost looks like a leaf, but that's the only other thing I can think of that it might be.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, are we still waiting to hear back from?
I'm still waiting on her. The only communication I have with her is through Facebook, but she's listed as mobile, so
Okay.
I'm just waiting.
She might get back with you.
No conflicts with the device, and it's an odd-looking quill, but it does look like a quill.
Yeah, her consulting herald was flaunted.
Yeah, the flaunches look a little bit short to me, but
To put an artist note.
yeah.
Yeah, they're registrable.
Yeah.
How much deeper should they be?
Well, I mean, they normally go in a little bit more, but go down a little bit further on the shield.
Yeah, just a little bit down, but I think it's not enough to.
I think it's registrable.
It looks like they put them down.
So much. I'm trying to learn.
They put them down at the pair bend lines,
Mm-hmm.
so they should have gone a little bit further down, right about almost to where the. If you look at the line drawing, right at the point where the two join at the end of the feather, not all the way, not to the nib point, but where they cut in at the nib.
Mm-hmm.
That's about the point that they should come down to.
Okay.
That's why I said a little short.
Yeah, a little bit, not sufficient enough to cause an issue.
Right.
Gotcha.
Well, why don't we move on for now, until we, and then if during the letter we hear back from her, we can go back. But we're awaiting finding out what, try to clear up this authenticity and the 2 centuries confusion here on that one. Let's move on to number 9, Jean Hope. This is a resubmission. Vert on a bend sinister argent, 3 butterflies prepared.
I'll be
It was
right
returned
back.
to the conflict, and the letter of permission to conflict has been obtained. And
Yeah, that's the only conflict that we've got. But I'll be honest, if I had seen those, I don't think I would have given the conflict for it. Her violets look a whole lot like butterflies. There is permission to conflict, so there's no problem with it. But the only difference from across the room is the little yellow center on the violets. But the Morgan doesn't have a problem with it, so life is good.
Yeah. So we can send that one up with the letter of permission to conflict. Okay. Number 10, Margot Denis. And that one is a resubmission as well. There was an issue with the first way she drew it. There was some confusion about the pile. It wasn't a pile. We have a redraw, but the chevron and border were too thin, so I submitted a late redraw, if you see on the comments, that I thickened up the border and the chevron. And if this looks good, the submitter also had approved it as well.
Make sure to note that because this is too nice to let it to bounce back again.
Yeah.
What did I miss?
We're on number 10.
10.
Oh, okay. I missed number 9.
But there's a redraw further down it. Or an alteration.
9 was a resubmission, and we got a letter of permission to conflict. So
that's good.
Okay. And then Margot St. Denis needed a redraw, which I put in.
Which looks really much nicer.
Well, and the skinny border is fine. It's just the chevron needed cookies.
Yeah.
I thought the border.
Skinny borders are period.
Yes, skinny borders are period. It's within the range of them. We like them big, bold, and butch, but they're still okay.
Okay.
The
chevron definitely needed.
Gotcha.
Needed chow. Yeah, charge chow.
Needed a bit of beefing up. Interesting. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, she approved that redraw, and so we will send it up with the new redraw. We will make a note of it. So
that's good.
She has approved it. And number 11, Philippa Delaney. This is a new device. Her chevron inverted argent and vert estin. Oh, am I going to say that right?
Estancele.
Or an oak slit vert. I'll need to capitalize. Oh, we have the blazon per chevron, inverted, argent, invert, estanceli, or capitalized, and an oak slip vert.
That.
I have a question here real quick. I think I might have a conflict here on that one.
Okay.
No.
Fieldless, a slip of elderberry, flowered and fruited proper. It is fieldless, so the background isn't going to matter, which means that the placement on the field is not going to matter either.
Is essentially a charge?
A stencile is a semi
Semi
of sparks.
Is that one considered?
So that would make it a second charge.
That's a second DC.
Is it going to give it as a charge? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That would be secondaries. Yes.
Stencile literally means from period semi of sparks.
Right.
Sparks.
There were so many of those come through Gulf Wars too.
Yeah.
And it is such a pain to color.
It was the sparkly Gulf Wars.
It was a very sparkly Gulf Wars. Meridier's got I don't know how many of them, but I saw those every day.
The worst type
Friday.
of sparks is a colored background with argent sparks that you have to carefully color around each little.
Oh God, yes. Oh, God,
You'll
yes.
get to see that next month, my friend.
That was my next question. That's next month we treated all these, right?
Hmm?
I said that was my next question. Next month we get treated to all these, right?
Well, next month you get treated to Density Pony.
Oh God.
And part of them came to Meridier's. A lot of them went outside Meridier's. Yay.
Oh God.
But there were so many sparks.
Okay, so we will send up Philippa Delaney's.
There's your Density Pony.
That's a Sagittarius.
Yes.
So.
Dancing Sagittarius, I guess.
Dancing with the Sagittarius. Who gets eliminated? Okay.
All right, number 13.
Oh, 12?
Another of the admin.
Are we skipping over 12?
I meant number 12. I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh, it's been a long day.
Okay, number 12. This is Phillips. It was one of those admin returns, so we were just putting it up. But we were trying to come up. The reason it needed a redraw is because his original chevron wasn't chevron. It was between a chevron and like something in base.
A base pointy or
base point.
Point.
Pointed.
Yeah. So this redraw we felt was a good compromise because like doing a really sharp chevron seemed to make the Sagittarius too small and not big enough. So, but he did these other two redraws in the comments just to see if one would be better.
This one would be fine because it divides the shield.
Yeah.
So that's what we felt was this was the best way to depict it while keeping the Sagittarius large enough.
Now, how will this work for send-up? Will you send these other two options that he's given as just safety nets, and that'll go? Does it have to go through the bouncing process again?
No. It would. This is the one that he wants. The one that's being in the submission. So if that's good, then we're just going to go with that.
It's the better.
So we're only submitting one.
Yeah.
And even with the low contrast field division, the line of division is simple, so and not obscured or anything. We don't have any problem.
Right. And we can also put a note that we talked about how to divide it so it looked best, and that was the decision we came to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that looks the best. Let me get that sent up again.
I hear a cat.
Well, it's not mine. It's not mine.
Somebody's getting yelled at by their feline.
Yeah, my cat is sitting on my lap, turning her head around, trying to find the other cat.
Yeah, I have one cat here. The one yelling is down on the floor.
Yeah.
That's why it's yelling.
Jealousy. Quote I got the other day: dogs have masters, cats have stacks.
have.
Yeah.
Staff. Yeah.
Yeah, cats have staff.
I don't know. In our house, it's kind of both.
You really want to comment on this letter.
Obviously. So I thought maybe he wanted to go back so he could comment on the Nocturnal Panther.
There you go.
Or the grilled cat.
Or the grilled cat.
The grilled cat. What is it?
Grilled cat.
He's definitely protesting the grilled cat.
Okay, now we're on 13.
He says, it does not taste like chicken.
Satara al-Katuba.
Akatiba, yes.
Al-Katiba.
New name and device. This is
That
a
looks fine.
Arabic name, and I don't know much about Arabic names, but it seems
It's
like
fine.
it's some good
Yeah,
information.
it's
and
fine.
It's a
So-
nice, simple one. You ought to see the arguments the 5 installment ones cause.
No, this one just means Satara the scribe.
looks good.
Yay, happy.
Yeah.
Simple and
double
elegant.
check that.
Yeah.
Yes. And she is a scribe, by the way. She is.
We need them.
She's brand new, but she is really getting into the scribal art. So
Cool.
She and her husband, I think, our entire shire completely adores. They're
Oh
wonderful.
yeah, they're wonderful. They're great.
Haven't- I don't think I've met.
Oh yeah, they're newbies for us, and he works at some kind of at some company that allows him to make all kinds of things on his off time. So he just showed up at my house the other day with an entire new set of event signs.
This is the
Nice.
wife of the gentleman that has the polar bear, who is also the same guy that is making us our
on
youth
the
armor
Youth armor. Oh, cool.
plates. Yeah,
Awesome.
our new adoptee.
Oh yeah, he made a vacuform box so that he could use plastic to make shield bosses, basket hilts and stuff for children's youth combat, and he cut out
Yeah, he's helping us get kits together.
thousands of lamellar plates at work and donated them, and for youth combat armor. So and also adult armor. So yeah, he's a
Where
keeper.
did you find them? Who did they
It's
find
really
you?
funny. He moved to our area a couple of years ago and had no idea that there was an SCA group in our area. And he looked up and saw it on the internet, and he called me, and I said, "Yeah, come along." And he said, "We've been living here for 2 years and didn't realize that there was an SCA group here. We didn't think there would be an SCA group in Boondocks, Georgia." And I said, "Well, you know what else is in Boondocks, Georgia? Ever heard of museum replicas?" And he said, "Oh my God! I've been living where I could throw a rock at that place for 2 years, and I didn't know it." He was just absolutely cool. So we grabbed him up as quick as we could, and he and his lady are proving to be great. They are.
I took a class with him at Midwinter, and he just started randomly talking about different subjects.
He's
And
hysterical.
brought up
funny.
the armor stuff, and I went, ooh! And I grabbed our hopefully soon-to-be youth marshal and was like, Jeff, come here! So we've extensive.
Yeah, he said he
extended
donated.
adoption with
He
him.
said he donated a bunch of stuff to Fourth Castle.
Yeah, we adore him.
Yeah, he's great. He's absolutely great.
Well,
You can't have him.
We'll borrow him from time to time. How about
Okay,
that?
okay, all right. We can maybe
Every
work
other event, does that work?
maybe we can work. So.
exchange program.
We've got another newbie that's I think is going to be camping with your group at Fool's War.
Yeah. Is it the person that I think it's probably the person
Yeah.
he contacted.
Right.
You arrange a lend-lease agreement for him,
Yeah.
and including a dowry at that point or something.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll work it out.
All right. Well, let's
This is
finish
his
up with her
lady.
device.
This is her lady. And the redraw is great. She's thrilled with it. She doesn't care, so she's fine.
Yeah. I sent the email actually, and I didn't see the comment there, but yeah, and I that is a fimbriated bend.
Yes.
There was a comment there that it said it needed that line, but I think that would be voided and fimbriated, right?
It's not necessary. This actually looks closer to what I originally drew for her. When she submitted it, I don't know what happened exactly, but the spokes were definitely white on the one that I did. So she's fine.
The redraw's fine.
A redraw.
Yeah, the timestamp on the comment below where you posted the redraw about the bend is not fimbriated was 5 days before you posted the redraw.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. that it was confused. I was confused there for a moment.
No, that was posted prior because it was an answer to
It
your
was
to one of
Yeah.
the. It was a direct comment rather than a reply.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes me feel better. All right.
Now
So
I found no conflicts on this, so I don't see where anybody else did either.
No, I don't see any conflicts with it. You've got black bends. I mean, you've got the color bend on a.
Right.
I mean, that's going to be already a rarity.
Yeah, our main problem with this was that she wanted the black bend on the red with the black abbreviated bend on the red, and we came way too close to Trinidad.
Right.
So we had to add something to it, and she has her ethnic roots and all are in Trinidad. So that was why she picked that, but that also created a problem for her. So we had to come up with ways to difference it, and adding the secondaries and adding the bordure were the two ways that we were able to clear Trinidad.
Yeah, that clears it. That clears Trinidad completely.
Cool.
Wait. No.
And clear it to her satisfaction.
We have a problem.
What?
We have a conflict on this one.
Oh no.
Ghouls, a bend sable Well, no, wait. No, we're good.
No.
Ghouls, a bend sable fimbriated between two crosses, crosslet, Fitchy Argent is going to be
2 CDs because
Two
you got
DCs, bordure, and type of the secondary.
bordure and type of secondary.
Yeah, you're good. We're good.
All right. Let's clarify that.
No, and that was the thing. I saw that. I'm like, oh, this is.
No, I had already checked that one.
Yep, William DeCorby. Yeah, we're clear with the border on top of it.
Okay.
So we're good.
Because he was why we added the bordure, because we couldn't difference away from him, and we stuck the bordure on it, and that did it.
Gotcha.
It should be fine.
All right. So we'll send that up with the reblazing that's been approved, and emblazing, and move on to 14. Serena of Huckwald, new name and device.
They need to be cautious of the slur.
Yeah.
The slur?
Gypsy. It should be Roman.
Oh, I
Gypsy
see.
on here.
Language.
The language, Spanish Gypsy. It's not really relevant to the
Spanish.
Spanish.
Yeah. But if they're doing the Roman, they need to be aware of that because that's going to infuriate somebody.
Gotcha.
Don't wave red flags in front of Laurel Oscar commenters.
No. It would strictly be with, maybe sending them a private notation or something.
Well, could you say Spanish Romany or something like that and get away with it?
It appears that she's doing what I did, where she's doing kind of a blended persona with it, where you took a common name of the time and location that you were in.
Right.
And then that's your outward name. And then you have kind of a, quote, tribe name.
Right.
And that's what your own group would call you. So there's a handling with it, but I never documented my tribe name. I just documented the proper outward name, which would actually be in line more with the culture.
Yes.
Yeah, they would have shared that name with.
No.
So.
So her documentation is solid. It's just a notation in there that she is wishing for Romany persona, which I put documentation that was my desire, so it would be on the books, but it's not necessary for her documentation with it.
Be right back. The submitter contacted me.
Okay.
Right.
All right, and Huckwald, we got the registration of the branch name.
It's October of 2014, not March of 2001.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I redid the documentation in my comment there.
Yes.
For sure.
So that's good. There.
Same website. I just summarized it.
Thank you.
That makes the preparing the LOI a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
If she wants to use some form of documentation just sent with, not necessarily for a specific aspect, I can send you a link to the Gabriel thing that I used for mine, just so it's on file for her if she wants it.
Just for realism, just for formality with this.
Yeah, because she
Somebody's
notated
asking-
it, so...
Well,
Sure.
When somebody is using a branch name
Mm-hmm.
for any authenticity any authenticity request, by using a branch name included in
That
that,
obviates that.
It's out the door.
yeah, any authenticity is immediately thrown away.
Absolutely.
Well, she's not actually requesting authenticity. She's just saying that the language is most important. Is the most important if changes have to be made.
Right.
So.
I'm just saying because she noted it, so it must be important to her. So I can pass it along for her if she wishes for it.
But I can tell you, this is not going to get changed because it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, Serena of Hotwall is not a Spanish name either because Hotwall is German.
Hotwall is German, yeah.
And
Forest.
I mean, Serena is Spanish, but of Hotwall is like anglicized German. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, the device is Argent, a winged heart impaled by a rapier, palewise sable.
It's also inverted.
But it's
the rapier's inverted.
Rapier's
As I
inverted.
noted in my blazon.
Yeah.
It all depends on if the winged heart is one charge or two.
Well,
It's one charge. It's one charge. It's fine. No slot machine. It's fine.
We're fine with that. You're adding wings to the thing. It's not an additional charge. It's not.
You can add wings to just about anything in there. Generally, in my experience, I've never seen something where the wings were counted separately.
Add wings to almost anything. Just wait till you see the winged sea snail.
Oh God!
No, I'm liking the snail cat that's in somebody else's.
Yes, I saw that one. The snail, the cat's head coming out of the snail shell.
I'm waiting with bated breath. I can't wait to see that.
I believe this would probably be transfixed rather than pierced or impaled because of impaled and pierced has a different connotation in period heraldry. That's not this.
Yes.
Transfixed is what the ONA.
Pierced works better for me.
Pierced has a problem because of sink foils and stuff like that are pierced as part of their voiding.
Oh, okay, yes, okay, I understand your point.
We don't use pierced. Transfixed is what the ONA overwhelmingly used, so that's the reason I placed it.
Okay.
In filing might also work.
Yeah.
Yes.
But in filing is normally surrounded by though.
Yeah, go with transfixed.
Transfixed,
They'll change it if they like it. They don't like it.
Okay, so we will send that one up using the reblazon, and Raven's given me the Romani name link as well, in case the submitter would like to add that. And that takes us to number 15.
Well, before we start 15, I spoke with the...
Go back to...
Yeah, spoke with the submitter.
What was it again? I'm sorry, you'll have to remind me.
Number 8.
Okay.
Juliana
Effingham. I spoke with her. I'm trying to get back to it, too.
Number 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was finding 6, I was finding 10, but I wasn't finding 8.
Okay, we got it.
She said that the changing of the spelling will be fine.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, so do you want us to drop the language 1259 thing and just stay with 11th century? She's like, I don't know heraldry. That sounds great. Go with it. So, so drop language England 1259 and just quit client request authenticity for 11th century England.
Okay.
And 11th century will get her the
E. It'll get her the E form.
The imping E-ham.
Okay, so dropping the 1259 and sticking with 11th century, most important.
Hold on, she's now messaging me. What would that spelling be again?
Okay.
Let me just copy
It's
paste.
it's the same except with an E right before the H.
E right before the H.
Uh-huh.
There you go.
Thank you.
Okay.
And that should be allowed with her permissions, because that's just spelling.
It is a cat snail.
Yes, you found it.
That is frightening.
I saw
My
it.
response
I had
to that
to.
was whatever.
I am certain it must have some deep personal significance to somebody, but what?
Marginalia. Scrabble marginalia.
Ah, okay.
I'll look and see if I can find a 1100s version of Juliana.
Let's see.
Because we've got it dated to 1200s.
Yes.
Oh.
But 11th century is still going to be the thousands. So,
You want to say 11-12th century, and then we won't have to worry about it?
it was one of those we had to change something no matter which way it went.
Oh,
so.
no, it's 13th century.
If you're going with 11th century, you're going to have to get 200 years earlier on Juliana.
Yeah.
So that's a little trickier. We can document the whole name to the 1200s.
I've got one from Withicombe that's 1196.
That's almost 1200, though. We're still talking 200 years.
Yeah. Carlos, see if she's okay with 12th century, but I think she is because of what she said earlier. I don't know heraldry, whatever.
Make it so.
Make it pass. Okay.
I wish people would not check those boxes.
I just think we should remove the box.
Yeah, I have a cat yelling at me, sorry.
Oh, the cat's fine. It's just the boxes. Those those changes boxes annoy me. And the one we used to use at the Pelican meetings when Mari was Pelican Queen at Arms would be the snarky suggestion we use, like Dorothea of Beyond the Rainbows. The submitter would like authenticity for 6th century England and allows no changes.
Yeah.
There used to be a Beyond the Rainbows province registered in the SCA.
But I mean, but still, that's not going to get her authenticity.
But no, we were just laughing at the type of things that submitters will ask for and how illogical.
Oh yeah.
6th to 7th century Irish Celtic Gaelic.
Yeah, Teutonic.
Well,
And Teutonic, yes.
The 3rd century Irish Gaelic is going to be bad because, I mean, St. Patrick, who brought writing to Ireland, wasn't even there yet.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is I'm supposed to register a couple of award names right now.
Oh God, no!
Hurt your face.
Oh yeah, and what I got to start from, the O&A says was registered at some point.
Yeah, really. That's one of the really early ones.
I've got Juliana 1185 in Rainey and Wilson.
It's still close to 1200.
That'll be 12th century.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So by the way, if when we're done, I could use some support once we go off the air.
Sure.
That's okay. I'm doing similar for my barony, so yeah. That one's being fun. Let me grab that book. Set it down.
Okay. I guess we're still hearing back from the submitter on that. But yeah, changing it to 12th century authenticity will probably solve
all the problems.
What about her saying 11th to 12th?
That should work too.
That should work too.
That would still be. That would give us some range.
Well, Well, I'm going through the Old English section, and I'm not finding any Julianas there.
No. Julia, yeah, because you get that all the way back through Rome, but
Yeah, from
Juliana?
Julian, from the man's name Julian.
Right, but Juliana,
It was probably used, but we're going to have an awful time trying to document it that far back.
She allows, if we can do 11th to 12th, that should
get us good, yeah.
We're finding it in Radian Wilson.
You'll find.
How about Saint Juliana, maybe? I don't know.
I'll look.
Can someone check that?
most of the stuff in Radian Wilson is going to start around 1150 in general.
Yeah, it's 1185. Is the one that the earliest I have for Juliana.
has anybody checked Bardsley?
I don't think I have that. Pen and Library is kind of puny.
Well, I hold on a second because I have a copy of that. I'll go look.
Okay.
Yes, there are a whole bunch of saints. Let's see if we can pick one. Looks like there are quite a they list like 6 or 7 Juliana saints. I'm just trying to find if one. Most of these seem to be Italy, and well, some of them are Roman.
Yeah, I mentioned it because it says Latin Julianus from Julius, the name of a Roman gens. And Juliana, it's feminine, were both names of saints, and both names were popular, the latter particularly as
There were a lot of Julianas tossed to the lions.
Yeah. Well, then we may be okay. Let's see.
No, Saint Juliana of Nicomedia. That was during the.
Alexander just told me he has Bardsley.
I've got it too. I'm looking at it right now.
She gives okay for 11th to 12th century.
Perfect.
Okay, that works.
And okay, so
they're getting ready for Fool's War, and she so through the Russia packing and stuff like that, she did not understood what I asked her the first time around, and then she's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure, do that."
Okay. We have permission. Launch it.
Okay, so we will use that spelling for the MPPN to give her authenticity, and then Radian Wilson has the Juliana to 1185. We'll use that for first name.
And I'm going to work on typing that up for you.
That solves that problem.
And I'm going to have about.
Look at Taryn.
It took y'all this long to notice that?
I'm busy looking at that Oscar. I'm actually.
It's such an attractive accessory.
And I'm going to have to bow out. I have Sunday at our fighter practice. I got pegged. Was only 2 months ago to our event. I got pegged was taking over as autocrat. So now I am in the trenches trying to save this event in 2 months.
Yeah, I get the same problem. I've got a co-autocrat, but she's having family issues, and so I'm trying to line up somebody to do list mistresses and various other things.
Yes.
You know the drill.
Yeah, this will be my only second time autocrating. So speaking of that, hi, Arabian Nights, July 4th. Please come. I need help. I'm also the Shire's Herald, which means I cannot herald the event now. Because I'm going to be autocrating the event.
You had someone take over that job.
I did. I found someone. I found somebody to do that. Xander. Simone's father moved back to Pensacola just in time.
Oh, cool. Okay, good.
So, but
that's one of those usually on my event lists.
Yes. So, but hi, I'm the autocrat for that event now. So, But so I'm going to bow out and get to work
Thanks,
putting
Carlos.
together stuff.
Okay,
If you need
thank
me,
you.
though, if you need me, I'm only just a message away, and I'll jump right back in.
All right. So
Adios.
good.
All right, bye.
Bye bye.
Bye and hello.
My internet just sorry.
Okay, we're cool.
Oh, we have an
Okay, so we
Alexander
have a
back.
Stentor back.
Hi.
Okay. Are we moving on to number 15?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Is it just me, or does that octopus look like it's in a lotus position with multiple arms? It looks like a Shiva octopus. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do it. Yes. Yeah. Okay. We'll do the name first.
Okay.
Sydney Gellier. It was noted that if it was a patronymic, it would need to be, it can't have an unmarked. But also we found that it was a descriptive, meaning,
Yeah, we found that.
Polish for blundering or something like that.
It's not there. It's in Garibasi. It's a by name meaning yeller or screamer.
And so I emailed
So I'm not sure what that says about her, but I'm not going to ask.
Well, I emailed the submitter, and it didn't get onto the letter, but she said that she wanted it as a descriptive by name.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Now, is she going to have to do it in lowercase, or is she allowed to do it in
No, you can,
Either.
You can do either. You can do either in now.
Okay. So we don't have to change anything.
You don't have to change anything.
Okay.
No, everything's
All
fine.
right.
Well, you do have to change the page reference to Gerbasi. I would make sure you fix that.
Right,
Yeah.
because it's no longer going to be on page 14. It'll be, what, 19 or something?
21.
21?
21? Okay.
You want to make sure that.
Yeah, page 21.
You want to make sure that gets fixed.
Yeah, notate it that it's...
That way they'll look in the right place and they'll know it's a by name rather than an unmarked patronymic.
Yes, it's a descriptive.
By name meaning yeller or screamer. Okay.
Okay.
Ron, you have a cat on your head.
Yes, I do, and she's absolutely making sure that she gets noticed.
They always do.
All right, for her device, Profess Wavy, Argent, and Sable, a tree blast and eradicated sable, and an octopus Argent. Did a redraw using the Magnus's octopus here from Mistletoe, and the submitter
Is much better.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's much better.
And your blazon needs to be polypus, not octopus.
Correct.
Yes.
It's Polypus now.
Or you'll get lots of annoying comments from commenters. Oral.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Profess Wavy, Argent, and Sable.
Fest needs to be lowercase f too.
Yes.
Yeah.
An eradicated sable, a Polypus Argent.
And that should be good with its redraw.
Okay, and use redraw, and these can get sent up. Also, yay for the easy ones. Number 16. This is actually the gentleman that came on at the very beginning. That was his. I've been in contact with him about this. Let's do his name first, though. Steinar Dregner. This is a Blue Tiger finds it as a descriptive, meaning young man or brave man.
So that works.
Yes.
We've had a flurry of these Norse names coming through that look like, at first glance, unmarked patronymics. You know.
And Blue Tiger also mentioned the April 2012 cover letter. Old Norse names can be capitalized. Okay.
Yes.
So name is good. However,
The device has issues.
I told you about it.
And I've been trying to work with him on some redraws.
Okay, guys,
and-
I'll be back. My mom's on the phone.
Okay.
See you later.
It's like stable, a telephone pole ghouls. I don't know.
This is an attempt at some type of Norse rune. I don't
Right.
recognize which one, but
Yeah.
it's one
But
of them.
unfortunately, you can't do it like that. So
No. Cannot register a single abstract symbol.
at the bottom, he gave me some redraws. 2 of them were to try and clarify kind of avoid that.
That's a lot of fimbriation in ordinaries, charges overlying in.
It is. It is a lot of fimbriation. So he offered this 3rd one, and I like that one better.
Yeah, that's my favorite of the batch.
If you don't run into any conflicts with it.
I don't know. I had some trouble with conflict checking because I wasn't sure if it would. There were some things I wasn't sure if it conflicted with, but it hadn't. We didn't get it in time to.
Is that like a chevron inverted voided, or is that 2 chevronels? I guess
it's 2 chevronels.
2 chevronels.
2 chevronels inverted argent.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, I wasn't looking down far enough. I just glanced at that.
There was some recent discussion about this on the heraldry chat. I'm going to go back and look and see what.
Oh.
This one came up, and we had Bruce talking about it as well. I'm trying to see what the commentary was on it really quick.
Are we on Stinar now?
Well, number 1 is just out because what you've got is white charges fimbriated ghouls on a sable field.
Yeah.
So the fimbriation is that's out.
Yeah.
That's color on color boot.
Yeah, it's color on color. Okay, the middle one is the one on the right is heraldically okay. There's nothing that I see that's wrong with it, but the one in the middle is just kind of makes me twitch a little, and I'm not,
Yeah.
Because you've got fimbriated charges overlying fimbriated ordinaries, dimensions or ordinaries overlying a fimbriated ordinary.
Now I don't know if you took away the fimbriation of the pale.
You can't take away the fimbriation of the pale because then it would be color on a sable
It
field.
would be color on color. Yeah.
There's been a lot of activity on the heraldry chat recently.
Mm.
Grief.
Well, since on the one on the left, they already had the pale turned argent, and of course they had the red fimbriation. But if you just had a white, an argent pale, that's kind of somewhere in between 1 and 2. That's a possibility, but I really like 3 a lot better.
But you still couldn't fimbriate the chevronels in ghouls because you've got a sable field.
It's color on color.
Yeah.
You could have a white pale and white chevronels that you would just.
Yeah.
Come on, chat.
Yeah, I just don't think there's a good way to.
He clearly wants to get all 3 of those colors in.
Mm-hmm. That's why I think 3 is the more successful. Emblazon.
Love the nose.
Wait a minute. There may be there. I think there's a conflict.
Like I
Dahlia
said,
de Aria.
which one?
I believe Dahlia de Aria may be a conflict with number 3.
That sounds
What is
Per
it?
pale. Let me be per pale sable and gules.
Okay.
2 chevronels inverted or.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's only one for color.
One difference.
And Michael Death, per pale, sable, and azure, 2 chevronnels inverted argent. So we've got
That's
two
just
conflicts.
position. That's just position. Both of them are dead conflicts.
Both of those are conflicts.
Yeah.
Do you mind posting that in chat, those conflicts in chat for me, Magnus? Just so I have them.
I don't know that I don't have chat turned on, but.
Oh, okay. Then that's okay. I will get out my little note here.
It's Michael space DETH.
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 Okay.
The second one is Dahlia, DALIA space D apostrophe AURIA. Dahlia Daria.
Okay. So those two would be conflicts, but
that's the only 2 I found. I could look further, but I don't think we really need to.
Okay.
Well, it at this point it's going to get returned, and I can work with him to find something that will not conflict, but yeah, I just don't see a way to save it.
Every single one of his redraws has either a conflict or a style problem.
Right.
Yeah.
So the name can go up, but I will need to return the device. But we at least have a starting place as far as doing a redesign.
Well, if he actually wants that rune, why doesn't he divide his field or something? Put that rune on part of his field and put something else. It doesn't have to be the only charge.
Can we register that rune?
I believe we've registered runes before. We just can't register a single abstract.
Even if we do a rune and a border, you're fine. You just have to have something other than the rune alone.
Yes.
Okay.
And the reason
so his rune could be part of his design. It just, maybe not the whole design.
Right. And the reason for that is we consider letters as well as considered as an abstract charge as well.
Yeah.
And if we allow somebody to register just abstract charges,
yeah,
they would be registering monograms and then restricting that from everybody else.
Right.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So that's the reason we can't do just the abstract charges.
And there's 2 registrations of Elder Futhark runes and 1 registration of Futhark characters.
We can register runes all day long.
Yeah, it just can't be the only thing on the device.
Gotcha. Okay.
Good.
Okay. Well,
and there's more runes. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yes, there are a lot of them.
Yeah, runes can be done all day long.
So we're up to 17.
17. Suniva Freda.
Darn it.
I know another Norse.
Yeah.
Another
Norse.
We're going to have a lot of clothes on them, too, because we had Nilly show up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the Old Norse name Freda on page 23 makes it a by name.
Sorry.
So that's
Noise
Battle Den, yeah.
Yes, this person, we're wondering if the changing of language will be a major change.
Well, from what I was reading at Ganora's page, she's saying that when it's spelled with an F, it's the Scandinavianized form of the Old English Sungifo. And I personally suspect that the F and the V
might be interchangeable.
Keep in mind what Gearbasi comes from is originally going to be runes, runestones and stuff. Gearbasi is still normalized, as are the sagas. So I don't. You may be able to do the FV switch just as part of the language.
Okay. I had originally contacted the submitter, and the email bounced and left a message on the phone and hadn't heard back. So, just to try and see what.
Well, she allowed no major changes, but a change of a single letter
Is not a.
is
You
not a
could.
major change.
I would send it up with the V and let Helen worry about it because
Yeah.
at Laurel level we will have the Gunvor to comment on it.
Right.
Make sure I ping her so that she looks at it.
Yeah, and I mean it might be as Magnus said that the FG switch is perfectly valid, and even if it isn't, and they have to change one letter to register it, that's not a major change.
Okay.
So I'd send it up.
All right. So we'll notate that there was a question about the SV switch, but we will let Laurel make that final decision.
And you have to make sure you put the proper one for Freda. I believe that's an ENF.
I think the one that I put is right. It's kind of hard to tell.
Right, it's down there from Garabassi, 23, nickname meaning noise or battled in.
Yes.
That's what needs to be on there.
The D in Freda is not a D, it's a
F,
and it needs to be that really weird looking one that Blue Tiger has there. The really weird thing that looks like an O with an X on top of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
That's the same I put.
Yeah, I don't that,
yeah.
so.
Anyway,
Yeah.
but yes, that phrase, that one does, because Suniva ONN, if you don't know, that's the Old Norse name, page 156. And 156, yes. I'm sorry, does the Old Norse name have 156 pages?
No, let me get it, and I will find you the correct page.
Well, it's listed.
It's on page 15.
It's on page 23. It's on page 23.
Yeah, Adelaide.
No, we're talking about Suniva.
Oh, Suniva. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Suniva is on 15.
Okay.
So just delete that extraneous 6.
Yeah.
All I have to do is look at that. I knew it was wrong.
Yeah. It's the Old Norse name, page 15.
Kiribati doesn't have that many pages.
Right. No, it doesn't.
I think this was another Gulf Force thing, but I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, probably.
We used an expanded summary, changing that D to the F. And make a note about the FV switch, and then that should be good.
And correct the documentation so that it's not so abbreviated.
Yes.
And say what it says. And summarize.
Yes. Okay, and the device, Azure impale a Lynx's head, embossed, sustaining by the strap, a hunting horn argent, a border argent semi of Roundels ghouls.
Well, that's definitely a lynx based on the tufted ears.
Yeah.
And you can take out the first argent.
What was that?
You can take out the first argent.
No, you can't.
No, you can't. Because that way it would be the border and the lynx would both either be semi of Roundels.
That way everything would be semi of Tortu.
Yep.
Tortu.
Yep, sorry.
Yeah, this was one that we did at Gulf Wars. So we knew we couldn't do the whole thing argent and Roundels.
Yeah.
The blazon on this, I have no problem with putting it as the fixing it with Magnus's reblazon.
Well, I did some hunting with the blazon search feature to look to see how hunting horns were blazoned, and that's what I came up with.
Yeah.
And that works.
Yeah. And I'm glad that somebody could identify that actually really was a lynx's head.
Now, hasn't it lately been more common instead of using terms like Tortu and things like that to say roundels.
Rundles, ghouls. Yeah.
I mean,
it's one word instead of two. I would use the one word.
Well, for clarification's sake, for non-heralds, they've been leaning towards the roundels ghouls.
Okay.
That's what I thought.
It's Scribble friendly.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother me. They mean exactly the same thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Unless you're going for a pun, or unless you're going for a cant, or unless you're going for unless that's the only charge on it, they're generally gonna give it the type and tincture.
The simplified, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
So blazing it as
Roundels ghouls, probably.
Roundels ghouls.
Head lost, sustaining a hunting horn by the string argent within a bordier argent semi of Roundels ghouls.
Yes.
That's fine.
That's probably what they're going to switch it to anyway.
And it's a perfectly good blazon.
Yes.
Running.
And they're only they're at 7 complexity, but not anything beyond it.
Yeah.
Uh, 18. Teresia Magyar.
Magyar, yes.
Magyar.
We got Julia to help us with this one.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Hungarian is a nasty language to try to deal with.
Well, she wanted a Hungarian name, and we weren't sure whether we needed to reverse the order or whether we could get away with doing it the way she wanted it. And also, we wanted to make sure whether or not Magyar was an acceptable by name. And it turned out that it was, and Juliana was able to help us with the documentation on this.
I recognize this from email.
Yeah.
I was like, this one sounds familiar. I've seen this before somehow.
Well, she's another newbie, and she,
Well, typed. I think I saw you post about it.
Yes.
Yeah, this is one that it took me a while to, because I was concerned about the lozenges on the Byzance, but we're good.
She had those things. She had those things blazoned as something else.
Some weird specific. Yeah.
Yeah, she went to some bucket shop or something online and had them design her a coat of arms, and it was similar to this but not quite. And the flames were alternate, were red and were actually a flame or not voided, but it was a flame. It was a flame ghouls fimbriated ore, and the name that they gave these lozenges and these charges in chief was something I had never heard in my life.
Yeah.
So I said,
It's probably something uber modern.
I said, okay, first of all, we cannot have a flame on a flame fimbriated like that. So I changed it originally to alternating ghouls and ore flames, so that she would have a flame proper. She decided she wanted to go with the flame, also just ore. But we reblazoned the charges in chief as lozenges ployé on bezants, so that it would be easier to understand what they were, because I did not recognize the term that they gave her.
Right. Yeah, I remember her talking about some specific coin as well. It was a bizarre thing.
Yes.
And, yeah.
So we're good with the Magnus's blazon here.
Do you want to fill it out the Byzant to a roundel ore?
That's probably what they're going to do.
Then it would be Sable, a Phoenix, and Chief 3 roundels ore.
Okay.
No, wait a minute.
Actually,
No,
no.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't? Okay.
Because you're going to have to, because the roundels are charged with something, and if you don't use the first ore, again, you're going to think that the Phoenix is also charged with.
Yep.
Okay. Then use the. That's why I tend to stick with the Byzant.
Yeah. Honestly,
I blazoned this. I blazoned this as bad as that to begin with too.
Yep. I think that I like the Sable with the Phoenix and then the Byzance. It's very distinctively. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we will use the expanded. I'll beef up that documentation just with what Julia had added, and we'll send both of these in.
Yes, I gave all of Julia's documentation to her to begin with, but she didn't quite fill it out all on the form. So I'm glad she came back and added that.
Okay. We use the Nathan, and then I'll be good to go.
Okay.
Those. Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, we're on our last one.
Yeah.
Okay. Ismay of Branston. This is a new device. Ghouls, a dolphin Orient to sinister within an oral archant.
I don't think you need to emblazon that as embowed, do you? I mean,
No.
It looks like Orient.
Or
is it a variation of Orient that we need to?
No, it's the same. I looked up. I'm pulling it up. It's the same art as used in the one that I linked.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it was registered as Orient.
Yeah.
No embowed, counter embowed.
Yeah, I don't feel the need to add that.
That's the standard heraldic dolphin. I know this because I was trying to do a dolphin initially and decided against it because I was doing blue and white, and that's an entire kingdom. Fun.
Yeah, have fun with that one. That's almost like using blue and white with triscales.
I'm telling you,
blue and white dolphin.
I'm impressed that this one is conflict free because
I am too.
Yeah.
I checked it backwards and forwards, and I didn't find anything.
Well, the two that I mentioned at the bottom are the closest that I could find.
Yep. Well, and the thing is that people are like, "Oh, you can't do simple heraldry. You can't do anything simple." Bull. Look at these things.
Really. Yeah.
I was shocked when my badge went through, and it was just the sable feather. Simple.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, well, my badge is Fieldless and Antelope Argent. Statin d'Argent. So.
Right. So.
Cool.
Always look into it, because everybody may have assumed the same thing.
Yeah, that's probably why.
Well, I mean, the thing is, we've also got a lot of folks that are still remembering the the stuff in the 90s where we were still going against all the modern heraldry, and then we had our...
Yeah.
So...
Modest proposal.
Yeah,
yes, I remember that. I mean, the Modest Proposal, which opened up the world of everything... And then,
well, that's because you were no longer checking against obscure countries' military badges.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, let's say it's against the Lithuanian army unit.
There was a friend of mine had a device that kicked back. It was what was it? He'd originally tried to do Azure, a Ben Sinister embattled between an owl and a lion's head or something like that, and the conflict was from a bakery that burned down in 1750. It burned down. The family, no one else claimed any ownership of it, and they never rebuilt it.
Uh-huh.
But the heraldry existed, and it was still considered a conflict.
That is hysterical. Well, my first device is very similar to one I saw recently submitted for another kingdom, but it was bounced versus some kind of mundane thing, and I to this day can look back on that and say that should never have conflicted because it had two differences. But they returned it, so I wound up with my antelope, which I'm happy with, but it's just...
My device was originally a bend.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we love your bending gold.
Well,
Yeah.
no, it was a bending gold, but it was a bending gold, not Ben Sinister.
Yeah.
So, if there's no other comments for the letter, I'm going to go ahead and close the link to YouTube, and then, we can stay on and chat. But,
yes, and then Chandra needs some help.
all right, so...
Bye, YouTube! Bye, YouTube!
Bye, YouTube!
Bye, YouTube.
It's been fun!
Bye, thanks for listening.